She's a homemaker, don't you know? She'll teach you how to cook and sew, and how to wield a hammer. It's the June the Homemaker Show.
Hello and welcome to the June the Homemaker Show. Today on June the Homemaker, everything possible is going all the possible wrong. Today we are going to make honey nutters. I'm calling them honey nut pearls. Really, they're little balls of peanut butter and coconut and honey, and they're really delicious, but I know that everybody is going to be a jerk if I call them balls. So they're going to be pearls instead, YouTube, so don't get any ideas. The honey that I need for them is crystallized inside this thing. So I'm going to try to get out some of the crystallized honey with this iced teaspoon. And by some, I mean as much as the recipe calls for. And then I can microwave it to make it not be crystallized anymore. Also, we went to the grocery store earlier and I forgot to get the dry milk that we needed to do this. So I am altering the recipe to include confectioner sugar and real milk instead of using just honey and dry milk. So they're probably going to taste a little bit different. Also, it is supposed to have crunchy peanut butter. I'm not using crunchy peanut butter because that is not what we had. And also, I don't use peanut butter that often, so it wasn't really worth buying a jar at the store just for the recipe. I know crunchy peanut butter versus normal peanut butter is like a giant debate, or at least it definitely was in 4th grade. Do you like crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter? What do you prefer? You should tell me in the comments below. Oh, this is going to be such a big mess. So it looks like I have 1/3 cup of honey, as well as a lot of honey that I've spilled everywhere. One of the reasons why this is a really cool recipe is that it is a no-bake recipe. So this is a recipe that you could make if you really wanted cookies, but it was really hot and you definitely did not want to turn on your oven because, oh my god, it was so hot. Or also, if you don't have time to bake something, but you're supposed to take something, some kind of a dessert to some kind of a function. There's 1/3 cup of honey and it is going in the microwave. I put it in the microwave for 30 seconds because, you know, that should be fine. A cup of peanut butter. Also, this would be a really good recipe for kids because it's basically Play-Doh. Put all these things in a thing, mix them up with your hands, roll them around and other stuff, which is also really fun. And then at the end, you have these little balls of deliciousness. I mean pearls of deliciousness. How often do you measure out like a cup of peanut butter? Like, you don't measure out a cup of peanut butter. Peanut butter. Yes, I hear you. So here comes the honey, which is in fact totally fine now. The actual recipe calls for 2/3 of the cup of honey and a 1/2 cup non-fat milk powder. So instead of that, I am using 1/3 of a cup of honey and 1/3 of a cup of powdered sugar and a 1/2 cup of actual milk. Well, maybe I'll start with 1/3 of a cup and then see what that does to the consistency of the stuff. It wants me to use 16 graham crackers worth of graham cracker crumbs. So I looked up the graham cracker crumbs to graham cracker conversion, and 16 squares is a cup. So since there are 32 squares in 16 graham crackers, I'm going to use 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. And don't worry, I'm not being lazy. We just had the graham cracker crumbs around. Now I'm about to be covered in goo. Oh, this is so bizarre. It's like really bizarre. It's like sticky enough to feel like something that you shouldn't really be putting your hands in, but it's kind of fun to put your hands in it. What was that stuff from when we were kids that was like phloem? It definitely feels like phloem. Wow, this is so cool. Look at this ball of stuff. It's just like a ball. As advertised, I'm going to put in 1/3 of a cup of milk just to see what that does to start with, because I mean, again, it's not actually supposed to have real milk in it, but oh, it's making squishing noises. It is no longer a ball of stuff. It is now a squishy mess. So here's the fancy coconut, which I am pretty much just going to spread out a bit of. If you don't have a pie rolling thing, you can use wax paper P.S. I love coconut. I don't know if we've met at all a couple of times, but coconut is kind of really awesome. So now, I'm going to get out a plate. Don't look now, you guys, but I'm thinking ahead again. I think something might be wrong. So I'll make small balls with mixture. So let's see. That looks like a small ball, right? It's a little one. It's a little pearl. And then we're supposed to roll it in the coconut. With the coconut. Isn't there some kind of a song about coconut? Besides the lovely bunch of coconuts one from The Lion King. I mean, it's not really from The Lion King, but it's in The Lion King. Instead of rolling it in coconut, I'm just going to make a pile of coconut around it and sort of squeeze. And then pull it out. Yeah, that looks pretty good, don't you think, YouTube? There's a little one. My piling and squeezing method seems to be working pretty well. They look like little, I don't know, they look like tribbles in food form. Any Trekkies out there? I mean, Trekkies. They're pretty adorable. These would definitely be very good for children. I feel like I am a child right now as I am making them. Oh wait, I feel like that always, all the time. I'm going to wait until the very end to try one because otherwise I'm going to be eating them all as I go along. These really do look like tiny animals with fur to me. Look, I have little coconut fur. Look, I'm a little coconut animal. Aren't they cute?
They are.
Don't they look like little animals? Drum roll!
Those are actually quite tasty.
They call them honey nutters. I think I'm going to call them honey nut creatures from outer space. Honey nut creatures from outer space is definitely an awesome name for a food. Also, I got the original recipe off of allrecipes.com and I am going to put it in the sidebar for you. I am also going to put my variation on the recipe in this, the underbar. I guess it's an underbar now.
Okay, so what do we have here?
Honey nut creatures from outer space.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
Is that the final product there?
Yep, you should just grab one. I know, your life is really hard.
Yes, they're definitely good.
Good.
And I'm someone who knows good. I think that was defective though. I think we need to get rid of it.
Yeah? Well, I mean, if you gotta save the world.
Okay.
They are from outer space, so if any of them look dangerous.
I thought they looked familiar.
Question mark? Are you saying
They're from my
that?
home planet.
Oh.
Didn't the crop circles out front give you a hint?
Is that what's wrong with our lawn? The awesome part is gonna be cleaning up. And by cleaning up, I mean licking all the bowls and spoons. Ah, this one is totally creaturey. So they are all done. Here's what they ended up looking like. Aren't they adorable? They're like the most adorable food I've ever made. And they really do look like tiny space creatures. I really think they look like, I don't know, peanut butter tribbles or something. You guys should know that there were supposed to be 24 of them. Mine came out with 42 altogether, so I guess I made them a little bit small, but I like my ratio of coconut to other stuff to be pretty high, so I would say you could probably make them bigger. I rolled them small enough so that they rolled comfortably in like the indent in the palm of my hand. So that was how I sized them. So this is June the Homemaker. We have now made honey nut space creatures. Oh, I have to try one. Let me find a small one. Here we go. These are really good. A very kid-friendly dessert, and it's kid-friendly to make. So this is June the Homemaker. We just made the most amazing dessert that I've discovered, and I'm signing off.